It's gonna crack. I need some airflow, you know? You know. I mean, you ain't.
I think I just like twitched.
Go
I
ahead.
was like, go ahead. I know this is the second episode this week, but again, we're back in time, so we don't know how the election went. So
I don't want.
right now, we're gonna stay in blissful ignorance.
Yes, right now we don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, so
I'm sure future Katie is very happy right now,
hopefully,
or we're very sad right now.
or I've already jumped, and that's it. Welcome back this week, guys.
Hey.
We're talking about seasonal depression this week.
Ooh, love it. Love it.
I know, I love our topics.
Gotta have it, gotta love it.
It's irrelevant because honestly, not only have I been feeling it, I know you've been feeling it.
Oh, yeah.
And the cold weather is starting to come and it's starting to creep in. The clouds are starting to form and it's starting to get dark a lot and rainy. And so it's...
You know what's coming soon?
What?
Christmas, and I fucking hate Christmas.
I know, me too. We'll have a whole other discussion about that.
Don't go any further.
Huh?
We gotta...
Play the intro.
How come you can sing shit and I can't?
Because mine's like every so often.
Alright.
But anyways, go ahead.
If someone, like, I'm a little right? But like if someone was coming at me, I think I could handle my own.
You might have aggression that day, let it go, and try to understand somebody else's world of their point of view. I mean like them, you, me, us. Anyways.
Yo, welcome back.
Alright. So, seasonal depression. It's a bitch. Man, I know we all hate it.
What's it like to just be seasonally depressed, though?
I know. That must be like, you know, the rest of the year you're just like, oh, it's fine. And
Blissful
then winter
ignorance.
comes. Yeah, true. And then winter comes and you're like, oh, God. But it's true. The seasonal depression is a thing. Like, a lot of people do get depressed. See, now, for me, it's like a little depressed sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you got the bread and then the multiple meats of depression. And then seasonal depression is like the
mushroom.
lettuce on top. And then there's like a little piece of...
Listen, I'm always sad, and I know that might come as a shock to some people. I don't know how. Probably because I mostly presume myself to be happy. We talked about this, high-functioning depression. That's what I got.
Yeah, and also depression doesn't look like people are just sitting in a corner all the time. Like, that's not how it is. Like, I wake up miserable. I go to bed miserable. And that's the thing. Here's, like, most people do. But they're so conditioned by society that they don't even realize that they're supposed to actually be happy. Like, you're supposed to actually want to wake up every day. And that is not a me thing.
Bitch, I think sometimes, now, like, seasonally, I think I do get way more in my feels from probably, like, November to April, I'd say. More so than when I have a fucking episode. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to anybody. The whole seasonal depression thing for everybody is the weather. In Buffalo.
Well, it's also, not only are we, like, vitamin D deficient just because we don't really get a lot of sun and there's mostly winter throughout the year and it's cold weather, but it gets dark and it gets gloomy. And it's like, when I already see clouds above me constantly and then you go outside and all you see are dark,
literal
gray clouds. You're just like, and it's cold, and it really puts you in like a bad place. Like, you're just
I kinda like it.
I really hate it. It's like, it doesn't, that's why I love summer. Summer, at least, even if I feel the absolute worst, I can walk outside and see the sun and feel the breeze. It calms me. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's fine. But if like I go out and I'm cold and like, it's just constantly dark, I'm like, dude, I'm already in a cave all the time. It's like I went from one cave to another cave.
The cave in your mind.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Let me ask you a very fair question. What do you do successfully? Quickly.
To
cope with it?
Yeah.
I can't really call it coping.
I think I cope.
It's more of just, I don't have a choice.
You gotta be here anyways.
I have to be here, like, and I mean, I'm very not much for suicide. I also don't like pain. Even if I were to consider it, I don't like pain, so I couldn't be able to do it because I'm more afraid of the pain than dying. It's
really?
Yeah, I don't care about the dying. I care more about the pain.
A little shocking. Let's take me back a little bit.
I stay in a comfortable place. Put it this way, like, it's hard for me to work. It's hard for me to go about my daily activities. And, like, it's even hard sometimes for me to just sit up, and I'm just like, I don't even want to be awake right now. Like, I want to go to sleep.
I think depression for most people, obviously, I can't say most, but I mean for me and you, I get really tired, or I don't want to say bitchy, I get quiet.
Yeah, I'm just always fatigued. I'm always exhausted. No matter what, I could have just woken up from a 14-hour nap and I would have been.
You're just like mentally exhausted.
Yeah, like I'm just my mind is drained, and therefore my body just doesn't want to do anything. I deal with it by, if I'm ever feeling like really low, I'll put on The Nanny, or like I'll watch Avatar, or like something that really like lifts my spirits up, or makes me feel like wrapped in a bunch of blankets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of feeling.
Warm, fuzzy feeling?
Yeah, something that's just gonna make me like laugh and not think about it. Or masturbating is nice.
Oh.
You know, that always like, you know,
having
de-stresses.
sex maybe.
Yeah, that's always a good thing too, you know. Reading a book. I need my alone time in order to like be able to just breathe.
Which is crazy because we are polar opposites there.
There's people who are like Katie who like being around people and it lifts their spirits up. Like, but that's different. I mean, like when I'm around my friends or like people that I love, like you guys lift my spirits up. You're that like dose of dopamine that I
feel pressured though sometimes, because I don't mean to like toot my own horn, but sometimes I feel like people have me around for entertainment. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm totally fine with being like the funny one, or like being the one that just can I can talk to a wall. So if someone's boring me, I will just talk at them and they'll be like, yeah. I do like my alone time though, but I get way too in my own head if I'm alone too much. For me, with coping and stuff, is like working out, spending time with friends.
Well, here's the thing. The reason I like being alone is because when I'm around people, I have a tendency to try to A, fill the silence.
That's what I do.
B, I lift the spirit, the energy up in a room.
That shit drains you.
Because it's so, people are always like, you know, Mike, you don't have to be upbeat, like, you know, always in a, you know, upbeat, happy mood. It's like, true, but you notice the difference when, like, you are that person who brings people up in a room. And people have told me that that's who I am. Like,
same.
When I'm around, like, they get, their spirits are high because I always try to make the energy feel light and happy. And, like, and in return, it helps me. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm working in a stressful, like, let's work, for example, if I'm working in a stressful environment and everyone's miserable and no one wants to be there and everyone's, you know what I mean? It's even worse. And, like, it makes my depression even worse. So, like, being there and being able to, like, try to lift other people's spirits and then have the same energy be returned, it's, like, it's just an easier day for me to get through. It doesn't make it better, but it's easier for me to get through.
The thing for me, being the person that lifts people's spirits up, one-on-one is totally fine with me, whatever. But if I'm out with a bunch of people, or if I'm at work and people are looking at me to, like, make them laugh and have some fulfillment and enjoyment, I love doing that. But then I leave. You ever see those memes of, like, person that is, like, full of color, and then someone else, like, touches them that are gray, and it slowly, that's, like, how I feel. I can present myself as content and happy, and then the minute I'm not, especially at work, people are like, oh my God, are you okay?
And they notice.
I'm like, yes, I'm fine. I just I'm always sad, bro. Like, it's just today it's worse.
And that's the thing. Like, you don't know who has depression because, like, they could be I'm always smiling in people's faces.
Yeah.
If they see me, I'm laughing, or I'm, and then I go home and I decompress for hours and my face is tired, my mind is tired.
Yeah.
It's not just, you're not just doing your job, or you're not just going to an event. You're putting on a mask, putting on a different personality, wearing that personality the whole day until it starts to wear down on you. And then, you know, people are always like, why are you leaving so early? It's like, dude, I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted from having to entertain y'all.
Yeah, literally. And sometimes people don't realize how boring they are. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to be the entertainment in the room because you're not entertaining. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but, like, most of the time you rely on other people to entertain. And then, like, I'm that person that has to entertain. Am I a clown? Do I amuse you?
So fucked up to think about how, like, the happiest people are the saddest people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, look at Robin Williams.
Dude.
He was one of the funniest comedians. He looked like he was always happy.
Yeah.
And he committed suicide.
Drug overdoses, people that OD on drugs.
You know, yeah, people who don't, unintended suicide, you know what I mean? People who are just trying to cope. We're all trying to cope. We all have some little hint of depression because, you guys, we're not supposed to live this way. Like, we've been conditioned from the start. We've been conditioned to only worry about money, to make sure we have a following, to make sure we have a title, to make sure, you know, we're good and we're soaring with money and we've got good jobs. Guess what, guys? That doesn't matter. Like, when you get older, it doesn't matter.
You're going to die and you can't take anything with you.
You're not going to die a director. You're going to die a bitter person with just money. You probably lost everyone to get there. You probably lost your sense of self to get there.
Yeah.
So what do you have at the end? I'm happy for your success.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's hard to attain money in this world, so good for you. And you're playing the game. You're doing what you got to do to get there. But that's the thing. It's a game. We're all competing for things that we shouldn't even have to compete for.
Yeah. Like, how happy are you actually, though? If I could just have enough to, like, live my life and be okay, I don't need extra shit.
Yeah, but that's because you don't have the money to live your life right now. You don't have the money to survive.
No, but I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, but if I had I feel like if I had enough money to, like, survive day to day, and like
you would be a happy person.
Yeah, but I wouldn't need more. I don't need like a fucking Lamborghini. I don't need fucking,
no. That's
I don't need a Tesla. I don't need that shit.
That's to flaws. You don't need it. What do you need a fast sports car for? Nothing. Are you in the Indy 500? No. Like you know. What
How
I mean?
did you know that?
Like, we have to struggle to survive on a planet we never asked to be on. Yeah, you're depressed. Hate to break it to you, sweetie, but, you don't just getting seasonal depression. It's just that, you might have more...
You feel it more.
You feel it more.
Seasonal.
Yeah. Some people do actually have seasonal depression. It, like, kicks in with the weather and stuff. But for the most part, you're always sad, sweetie. Hate to break it to you.
That sucks.
I mean, honestly, smoking weed helps. I'm not gonna lie. Don't drink. Okay, if you have depression...
As I literally just did this.
Yeah, don't...
Because that's what I do.
Don't drink. That could A, start alcoholism problems, and B, it's a depressant.
Multiple researches have been conducted. Say that.
Multiple researches have been conducted on the weed situation and how if it helps with depression or not. To me, it helps. It actually does.
Legal.
Because when I'm not smoking or when I'm not high... that really, honestly, my heart is always racing. Like, when you have anxiety, when you have depression, like, the reason I'm so skinny and I eat all the time is because my heart is constantly
eat more than I do.
a fast race car pace. Like, when I wake up, my heart is racing. So, like, and that's why I'm exhausted, too. My body's in overload. You know what I mean? Like, dealing with the anxiety and depression, like, my body is constantly, like, rushing. That's why I get lightheaded sometimes. That's why I, like, my eyes get blurry and sensitive to, like, light and sensitive.
It's called sensory overload.
So, the weed helps eliminate those symptoms and like helps calm my heart rate, and you know what I mean, chill me out. The CBD oil does the same thing. Try CBD oil, it might help. But if you're really feeling super depressed, especially because winter and Christmas is coming and those are really lonely holidays,
reach out to somebody.
Reach out to me or Katie. Honestly, if you're feeling this, I'll talk to you. Like, I understand what it's like, and I know I may not know what you're going through, but I know what the feeling is like, and I know how terrible it can be, and we're here for you, and we care. We're also going to put a number for the suicide hotline and
in the description.
Yeah, and maybe a couple other resources if you need to. Work on your try to meditate a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, try to
very good.
Try to understand where you're coming from and why you're so sad and why you're so unhappy, and like really try to dig into those roots. It might hurt and it might suck, but at least you know, and you could possibly then talk about it. And you know what I'm saying? And it might relieve some of your pain. But I know that, like me, depression has been in your life for a really long time. I mean, I'm not really that strong, but considering that I'm still here, I consider myself a strong person.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For still trying to be here, even though you don't want to be. I think that a lot of people who aren't as strong as me end up taking their lives. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, don't ever let yourself get to that point.
And just reach out. We love you. We're here for you. This has been what, Katie?
Really honest.
And what do they need to do?
Like, comment, share, subscribe, DM me if you feel down.
And then ring that bell because that'll help with your happiness too.
It's always Halloween here. You can get some treats from us.
Bye.